Is there a color in your palette that you don't seem to get along with? With me, it's the color green and its various shades. So today in this video, I decided to try to tackle those issues of mine by painting a sketch I did of the sovereign ruler of Latveria, Dr. Doom. You want to see how I did? Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, Arts of the Round. My name is Mello, and today we're going to dive into a topic that I believe is super important for any artist, beginner, intermediate, or a veteran. And that is painting with a color in your palette that you may not be familiar or comfortable with. For me, that happens to be green. I mean, there's a lot of other colors in my palette that I can't, but green is the one that I find gives me a lot more trouble. And like all things that we deem difficult, all we really need is a little bit of encouragement. One of the biggest drawbacks I faced when painting with the color greens, I've had a bad habit of using it straight from the palette and believing it was going to serve its purpose as is. So let's rip the band-aid right off. Okay, let's mix our colors to match the mood we're looking for in any one of our pieces, and in this particular is going to be Dr. Doom. So I'm using my Gouache, as you can see, the 24 color set. And that set has 4 different greens. I'm only going to use 2 of them: yellow, green, and grass. I also grabbed earth yellow or yellow ochre for the rest of us. And that's it for my colors. The other one is going to be tones, white and black. I didn't want a comic book vibrancy, so I knew I needed to mute some of these colors down. So the first thing I did was make swatches right on my palette to find the correct atmosphere I was looking for. And when I was satisfied by mixing all my colors together, I found the darkest shade next to black and started to tackle the dark area. And in this first layer, I'm simply defining my forms based on my pencils. I'm staying loose and I'm trusting the process. I'm also thinking about mood. Dr. Doom is a mysterious person. He's a master chess player that is 100 moves ahead of you. He is friend and he is foe. And his silhouette overpowers the page on purpose. You don't know what's going on behind that mask. And painting the mask and his armor was a different challenge altogether. Not only did I restrict myself to the colors that are already on my palette that I chose, I needed to make sure that not everything looked the same. For the metal parts, the face and the armor, I changed the way I moved the brush. While I painted the cloak and the hood with longer overlapping strokes to promote blending, I used short, sharper strokes to tile my colors and avoid blending with each other. And also stayed on the grayer side, as you can see, with only hints of what was already mixed on my palette, the greens and the yellow ochres and all the little variations in between, so I can keep an overall color theme and feel. The only time I went back into my Hemi set later on was to pick up some ochre and some mid-yellow for the chains and the adornments of his cloak. And as we watch the first part of this process go on, I'd like to hear from you. What's some of your experiences with painting with green? Do you like it? Have you struggled with it? Or do you even have some tips of your own that you can share? Leave a comment below. I'd like to see what they are. And if you're interested in this type of content and you want to see more, want to learn more about color and color theory, make sure to check out some more of my videos and make sure to keep coming back. I have more to come. Now let's keep going here. Next, let's discuss a little bit about layering with gouache and how it helps. When working with gouache, you have to remember to let each layer dry completely before adding the next one, unless blending the colors is the current goal during that point of the process. That actually helps maintain the vibrancy of your colors and clarity of details. Or in my case, with the muted greens that I'm using being the focus, it helps me build depth by adding darker shades for shadows and lighter hints for highlights. Another tip is to use complementary colors. There's that color theory coming in to make your greens pop. And although I'm never going as extreme as adding reds or pinks, but by hinting those yellow ochres into my green and accenting the adornments with ochre and the other colors that I mentioned earlier, you can really create contrast that makes those toned down greens actually stand out. And if you'll notice, although black is on my palette, I'm not using it in its pure form. I'm constantly adding greens to it, both the yellow green and the green grass and the yellow ochre, or the earth yellow, whatever he's calling it. But in total, what I was really thinking is just color harmony, and I didn't want anything to steal the spotlight from the green or make it stand out so much that it's a distraction in the overall picture. This was such a helpful study for me. I don't feel as overwhelmed as I used to with this color. I actually feel promise for future paintings. If you feel stuck with the color in your art palette at the moment, I hope watching this encourages you not to give up on it and actually try it again. But this time, set a goal, create a theme and a mood, and start experimenting with all those beautiful shades of green. You might be surprised at what you come up with. And there it is, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. If you've been here this whole time, I would greatly appreciate a like, a comment. Please let me know what you think, and a subscribe if you have the time. If there's anything you'd like to see me paint, anything you have questions on, something you want to try to tackle yourself and haven't been able to kind of like figure out, let me know what it is. Maybe we can do it together. Again, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. From me to you. Draw you later. Bye-bye.